The Ash Road to Pompeii, Roman Empire, 79 CE, during the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. Perspective: a retired Roman soldier guiding a deaf child through the ash-covered streets. The city at the edge of sleep. Pompeii always smelled of bread. The scent drifted from the public ovens before sunrise, winding through columns and painted alleys, mingling with the warmth of the sea. It was a city of fountains and colors, mosaics and laughter. A city that lived with its doors open. But on one afternoon in late summer of the year 79, the skies darkened. The gods grew silent. And everything changed. Except one man. A retired legionary named Marcellus, who had come to Pompeii for peace. And found something far stranger waiting for him. The soldier who couldn't forget. Marcellus had served 20 years in the legions. He'd marched in Judea, fought in Germania, watched comrades fall and empires rise. But in retirement, he'd chosen Pompeii. A warm villa. A small orchard. Quiet days spent repairing sandals and reading Virgil. He walked with a limp from an old spear wound, and he kept to himself. Until the day he met Lucia, a small, deaf orphan who wandered the streets with no shoes and wide, observant eyes. She didn't beg. She didn't speak. She just watched the sky. The sky that changed. August 24th. It began with a low rumble. Marcellus was feeding his doves. Lucia was drawing lines in the dust with a stick. Then the pigeons took flight all at once. And the ground moved. At first, just a tremor. Then stronger. Dishes fell. Lamps swayed. A pillar cracked in the forum. People screamed. Marcellus grabbed Lucia's hand and pulled her close. She looked up, not in fear, but in wonder. Above them, Mount Vesuvius had opened its mouth. And the gods poured ash into the sky. The first ashfall. It didn't feel like death at first. Just dust. Fine, gray, soft. Like snow that never melted. People laughed, nervously. Covered their mouths with cloth. Looked up again. But Marcellus saw the birds fleeing the coast. He knew the signs. He had seen cities burn before. He looked at Lucia, who tilted her head toward the strange quiet, as if trying to hear the heartbeat of the earth. She could not hear the screams. Could not hear the distant thunder. But she felt it. And she followed Marcellus without question. The silent march. Marcellus packed little. A water skin. Dried dates. A carved wooden whistle for Lucia to hold. No one knew how long it would last. They joined a line of fleeing people, toward the city gates, toward the sea, away from the mountain. Lucia did not cry. She gripped Marcellus's cloak and moved like a shadow behind him. Ash coated their hair. Their clothes. The world turned gray. And the sun became a coin behind smoke. The boy with the bronze helmet. Near the gate, they found a boy, no older than 10, wearing a bronze legionary helmet far too large for him. He stood beside a fallen cart, sobbing silently. Marcellus lifted the helmet and asked, "Where is your family?" The boy pointed to the smoke behind them. Lucia approached him and handed him the wooden whistle. He took it, nodded, fell into step beside them. They became free. The Ash Road. The road to Herculaneum was choked with travelers. Some carried livestock. Others carried jewelry. A few carried nothing but memories. Marcellus led the children off the main road, along an old aqueduct he remembered from his soldier days. Above them, the sky bled lightning through black clouds. Ash fell like rain. Hot, bitter. Lucia pressed a cloth to her face. The boy blew the whistle once, soft, high, pure. Marcellus smiled. "We're not ghosts yet." The house by the orchard. By nightfall, they reached an abandoned farmhouse. The roof was half gone. The well dry. But it had walls. Marcellus built a fire from broken beams. Wrapped the children in wool blankets. Shared the last of the dates. Lucia curled beside him like a cat. The boy placed the helmet beside the fire and stared into the flames. Then he spoke, softly. "My father was a soldier." Marcellus said nothing. He just placed a hand on the boy's shoulder and watched the ash drift down through the open roof, like gray snowflakes from the gods. The second day. At dawn, the mountain screamed. A column of fire rose into the sky. People on the road turned to statues. Faces frozen. Mouths open. Some ran back toward the city. Some dropped to their knees. Marcellus stood still. "If we keep moving," he said to the children, "we'll find the sea." And they did. The sea and the ships. At the Bay of Naples, Roman ships waited. Smoke curled across the horizon. The earth still trembled. Marcellus paid with an old gold ring. Lucia climbed aboard first. The boy placed the helmet gently in the sand. Then followed. As the ship pulled away, Marcellus looked back. Pompeii was gone. Only the mountain remained, silent now, cloaked in its own ruin. Years later, Lucia grew into a teacher. She never spoke aloud, but she taught others to speak with their hands, and listen with their eyes. The boy, Marcus, joined the legions, like his father. He carried a small wooden whistle wherever he marched. And Marcellus? He lived quietly in a village by the sea. Planted fig trees. Told stories to children who did not believe in fire from the sky. But at night, he sometimes lit a small lamp and watched the flame flicker in the ash that still lingered in his sandals. And whispered, "We lived. And that is enough."